To let it slip like that, I guess it'll be hard to find the words, but what's the mood in that dressing room you just walked out of?
Yeah, that is simple. That is what everyone can understand. It's not the first time we dropped points. It's not the first time we conceded a goal in the last minute. It's not the first time we conceded a set piece. So everyone can, I think, understand what the mood was in the dressing room.
So why do you think, like you say, not the first time for any of those things? Why did it happen again?
Nou ja, I can explain every single time, but let's keep it to this game. 2-0 up. I don't think we've conceded till that moment any chance. And the penalty wasn't a chance as well for them, but we made it a chance because it led to a penalty, VAR intervention one more time. So 2-1, then maybe their first chance of the game led to the 2-2. We showed mentality to go 3-2 up. I think after that I felt we had control. Of course there's always the lone ball, second ball, lone ball, second ball, which you cannot always make sure that that doesn't happen. And then a set piece comes in extra time. 9 minutes of extra time, and they score. Yeah, that is part of our season, but the only ones to blame is us, because we do concede these chances. We do so much to create. So it's not easy for us to score a goal, though today we scored 3. If you score 3 goals in an away game, that should normally be enough to win a game of football, especially if you hardly concede a chance.
I know that no manager wants to stand in front of these boards and single out a player, but with that challenge that led to the penalty, is it just self-inflicted? You invite them back into the match, you bring the crowd back into the game, and a match that looked really under control, suddenly it's chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, what you can say is that he tries to do everything to prevent a cross from coming. So if you want to call it a mistake, it's a mistake from hard work, from trying. Yeah, there was contact, that's for sure. The player already, I think, was on his way going to the floor. But again, we should, in that situation, look at ourselves and not at the referee or the VAR.
Did we see at that point that the bad run that you've had has just left you really fragile? The second something goes wrong, even though you did make it 3-2, the control you've had, the confidence seems to drain out of the team.
Yeah, but I think no matter which situation you are as a team, if you're 2-0 up and you control the game completely and the fans were quiet, not constantly, but in general, I think we were where we wanted to be. Yeah, if you then concede a goal, going 2-1, they come back to end the game with 2-1. Yeah, then I think if you play in this stadium, the fans will always give it a go one more time with the players as well. And like I said, I don't think we've conceded afterwards a chance, but the first chance we did concede led to a shot from a difficult angle, I think, but went in, 2-2. And then we came back with mentality, with a great attack. So we have to do a lot of things well to score a goal. And 3-3 is, as you saw.
Yeah. Just tell us about some of the changes you made. The first double change, I guess at that point they've just switched formation and you're trying to lock down the match?
No, I took off Florian and the other one was Connor. Yep. That's both related to the amount of games they've played coming back from an injury. Connor's been out for a long time. And he had repetitive injuries on his hamstring. So, yeah. We always knew before this game he could play 60, so I pushed it towards 66, 67, okay. I think. Flo has played so many minutes, and we have to keep him fit. But I don't think it was about it. It wasn't about the ones I brought in.
Were you close to using Mo Salah at all? It's obviously the third game he started on the bench, and in 2 of them now he hasn't come on. I might be wrong. I didn't see him really warm up during the second half.
I think all the players go for a warm-up on a regular basis, but we were 2-0 up, we were 3-2 up. I think it was at that moment of time more about controlling the game, and we didn't need a goal at that moment of time. And normally, when you need a goal, like last week against Sunderland, I brought Mo in. Today it felt to me that we needed we needed different players like Wata. I've brought him in many times when we needed to bring the wing over the line. And he gave everything, I think, what I could expect from him. And he was also not part in us conceding the free.
What happens with Mo medium, short term, Arne? It's hard to see a player of that stature and kind of knowing what's happened in the past when he's been left out of the team. It's hard to see him accepting a situation like this for too long.
No, first, like I said before the game, we have to accept the situation we are in, and I make my choices based on that. And the short-term future of Mo is that he goes in a week time to the African Cup of Nations, and but before that we play Inter and Brighton.
Okay. Are you still absolutely sure you can fix this? Did you see enough today to think, you know, that great team that you took to the title last season, it's in there somewhere?
If you want to base it on what we've seen today and what we've showed many times this season, then there's every reason to be very positive. But it's also not for the first time that when we show a lot of positive things, there's not a lot the other team needs to do to score a goal against us, and that is what we have to fix. But I don't think, maybe we've played only 2 games that the other team created more chances than us. But yeah, that's not where it's about in football. It's about scoring goals, it's about results, it's about not conceding. And but if you look at the way we play and the way the boys keep going, and when the disappointment is there after the 2-2, they come back to a 3-2. Was it after the 3-3 that Virgil had his header also, or was that before?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. So even again, then the boys were trying it. So that tells me again, like I said earlier, there's a lot of positives to take from this game, but it gets harder and harder to address the positive if the results go against you so many times.
Thank you, Arne.
You're welcome.
Well, Dom, actually, for much of the evening, it was a good Liverpool performance. But do you stand there? Do you just feel crushed at the moment?
Yeah, I don't know what happened after 2-0. You know, I think we thought that that the game is over, and we just made sure at the beginning of the game, that this is the kind of games where you can never underestimate the team who you play against, and maybe after a penalty, they just had their momentums, scored a 2-2. We came back, so it's a good reaction from the team again, and yeah, just conceding again from a set piece is not the nicest way.
Do you think the poor run has eaten away at your confidence to the extent that when a bad moment happens in a game you're in total control of, suddenly all the good play that you've shown before that, it all sort of disappears?
I don't know. I think you're right, but also after the 2-2 we showed the good reaction. We showed our mentality. We wanted to come back because we knew we made a mistake in a way that we let them come back for 2-2, scored a 3-2, and as I said before, yeah, nothing to say about the result.
How much of a toll is this bad run starting to take on the dressing room, Dom?
Well, what is in the dressing room, it stays in the dressing room. It's not for the public, first of all, but it's us. We have to manage it. We have to find solutions, and yeah, I can always come up with the opportunity on Tuesday or in the Champions League or on the weekend again. But yeah, there are also times where you have to look at yourself, everybody, go home, just think and ask yourself if you did everything what is possible. And if the answer is yes, then yeah, we just keep going and the momentum gonna come.
Do you feel like that champion team from last season is still in there? It's not maybe as far off as it feels right now?
That's a good question. It's hard to speak about it. Last year we became champion. Now I don't even know which position we are. But yeah, every team is doing well. Obviously every team want to win against the champions. But yeah, that we knew before the season as well. So now we have to find solutions. We have to show reactions, and yeah, everybody has to take responsibility and not always the old guys or the guys who are here longer, everybody go on the pitch and show it that you're ready to fight for this badge.
Thanks.
They've got to find a solution for this Mo Salah issue. It is becoming an issue now, isn't it, Jamie? Because the guy is such an icon. He's such a legend amongst Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
A legend, an icon in the Premier League, full stop. But to be sitting on the bench with a face like thunder and not even getting on in a game they haven't won today.
Yeah, well, I understand the face like thunder. He wants to play. He's an iconic footballer, you know, Premier League great. And he's probably thinking, why am I not starting? The facts are his form hasn't been good enough. Now, I don't foresee a situation where Liverpool, because I think they would have so much respect for him, that they'll be actively trying to move him. I think if he were to happen, it's accelerated really quickly, and if something were to happen as quickly as January, it will come more from him.
Could that happen with the African Cup of Nations, though, going on? Because he's going to disappear after that
He's going to go away, I
week.
think, next week, is it after?
Week on Monday.
A week on Monday. Anything can happen in football. If he really decides and he speaks to his agent and they go, look, it's not sustainable. I don't want to.
Do you think that would be the best solution for everybody then, if that happened in January?
I don't necessarily think in January. I think we've got to just let this settle. But I don't foresee that he'll see out his 2 years of his contract. I think it might be more in the summer if he were to go.
Sorry, I actually have a bit of sympathy for him as well, because as players we build relationships with other players on the pitch, and you know, he was so used to playing and being successful with Trent playing behind him. This season he's had a number of right-backs playing. He's had Conor Bradley, Frimpong, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, with Gomez playing. There's 5 players. So it's hard for him to... A big part of his game was Trent. Trent's gone, of course. But to have that rotation of full-backs and not being able to build the relationships with them, I think he has suffered because of that as well. So I have a little bit of sympathy for him. Listen, we're talking about Mo Salah being on the bench for 3 times. It's probably the most in his whole Liverpool career.
Well, it is.
It is, yeah. So it's rare, and that's why we're making such a big point about it. But listen, I think he can find his form again. I think if Liverpool get a settled team in there, I think we can see Mo Salah. Maybe not at his best, his peak, but I certainly think he still has a lot to offer.
I think that's a great point. I still think they're a better team, but Mo's form hasn't been good enough. When Mo's at his best, of course you want him in that team because he gives you a better balance. Conor Bradley as well, I think will probably say he'd rather have him out there. I think if you ask Dominik Szoboszlai, does he want to play right wing? No, he wants to play as a central player. But he has to improve.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is to try and make sense of one of football's big head scratchers. We're looking at how a really high-profile club is stuck in this serious slump.
It's a real mess. And we're going deep into the fallout from a chaotic 3-3 draw and all the controversy around their biggest star.
Exactly. We've looked at the manager's comments, player interviews, pundit analysis, just trying to find the root cause of this fragility.
And right away, you hit that core paradox.
Yeah.
How can a team score 3 goals away from home and still not win?
Right.
The sources show it's not just bad luck. This is, a structural vulnerability. It's a breakdown in confidence that we really need to unpack.
So let's start on the pitch right after that draw. The midfielder, Szoboszlai, he said he felt crushed. And for him, the big mistake, the psychological slip, happened when they went 2-0 up. He said they started thinking, the game is over.
And that is exactly what frustrates the manager Slot.
Yeah.
He sees this happening again and again, dropping points, conceding late.
Especially from set pieces.
Exactly. And in this match, the penalty was the turning point. Slot just called it self-inflicted.
It was a mistake that came from trying hard, but
the result was catastrophic. It hands them an equalizer, and suddenly a quiet home crowd is, roaring the place down. The game was totally different after that.
Okay, but if they had that mental lapse at 2-0, how did they recover to then go 3-2 up? That takes some fight.
It does, and Szoboszlai pointed that out. He said the reaction was good, but he also knew that letting it get to 2-2 in the first place, that was the real failure.
So it's about the confidence. He even contrasted being champions last year, that certainty, with their current state where they just don't know where they stand.
Which is the perfect segue to the most visible sign of all this pressure, the whole situation with Mo Salah.
Absolutely. Their star forward benched for the 3rd game in a row.
Yeah.
And the cameras, they showed him just sitting there with a face like thunder.
It's a huge question.
It really is. It makes you ask, why would you ever bench a player who is almost a guarantee for goals?
Well, the sources give us a few angles. The manager, Slot, he said it was a strategic choice.
Strategic how?
He felt they needed to control the game, not necessarily just score more goals. He also mentioned, the reality that Salah is leaving for the African Cup of Nations soon.
So that's the official line from the club. But the punditry view was a lot more blunt.
Much more. They basically said the primary reason is that his form just hasn't been good enough, full stop.
And what's fascinating is the reason why his form might have dipped.
Right, because the analysis suggests so much of his success was built on this, telepathic partnership with Trent Alexander-Arnold.
And with that gone, or at least destabilized, they've been scrambling.
Totally scrambling.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They've used 5 different right backs this season.
Yeah.
Players like Bradley, Gomez. It's a revolving door.
And you can't build that kind of chemistry, that instinct, when your partner keeps changing every week.
Impossible. The player's bound to suffer.
So you've got this mental fragility, tactical errors, and now a key player whose form is hit by a structural problem. Where do they go?
Well, Szoboszlai was pretty clear. He said everyone, not just the senior players, has to take responsibility. Everyone has to ask themselves, did I do everything possible?
And the manager is trying to, stay positive.
He is. Slot's pointing to the fight they showed to go 3-2 up, Virgil's late header attempt. He says they're doing a lot of things well. But he also admits it gets harder and harder to address the positive if the results go against you so many times.
Which brings us back, finally, to Salah's future. What's the feeling there?
The consensus among the analysts is that the club respects him too much to ever push him out.
But he might push for a move himself.
He might. They just don't see him seeing out his full 2-year contract, and a move in the summer seems like a real possibility.
So when you boil it all down, this deep dive shows a team where individual effort is still high, they can still score goals.
But that collective fragility, that inability to just lock a game down, it's making any kind of sustained success impossible. They score goals, but they just hemorrhage stability.
So our final thought for you, the listener, is this. The manager says they're doing a lot right in attack, but they keep failing to get results. Is the problem here fundamentally tactical, bad set-piece defending, or is it purely psychological? A total collapse of confidence the second they're put under real pressure? Something to think about next time you're watching?